What's up, everybody? How you doing? Ryan Knapton here. One of the common questions I keep getting is how fast I'm going while I'm carving. And in the words of a wise old skier I met once, he watched me make turns, and then I was waiting on this pitch, and all these skiers are just bombing straight down, snowboarders too, straight down. He shakes his head. There's good skiing, and he says, there's good skiing and there's fast skiing, and they are rarely the same thing. Ooh, absolutely truth for snowboarding too. So I will check out exact speeds. In February I'll have some time to do this. I'll bust out all my old boards. I'll build an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Docs spreadsheet with what radius I'm on, do a top to bottom run of all carving, and show the average speeds or show the speeds on whatever, and that'll be a cool experiment. I already know the big results. When I scale down to smaller radii, it will be slower speeds on average, and when I scale up, the speeds will slightly increase. But is that worth trying to replicate my exact speeds? Nope. It's more of the theme of, can you hang on to a turn? So what's a snowboard turn? A proper one's a carved turn. We're making that nice C shape. Maybe we even hook it up the hill a little bit if it's a pretty steep terrain, because that's going to be how we can keep gliding rather than have all these forces build up at the bottom of the turn and turn into skid, high-speed skidding. Oh my, it turns into bad things. I've seen some gross situations even today on this run. Two snowboarders high-speed collided into each other and then hauled off. I see this stuff every day, and I mean, I've seen death on the mountain because of people who wanted to go fast, and it kind of sucks. So here's the big point of it. Can I hang on to a turn? That's all I'm asking myself, you know. Pitches change, snow conditions change, or whatever board we're on changes, how soft the snow is, how sharp our edges are. There's so many variables. But the universal thought is, can I hang on to my turn all the way through and initiate the next turn on the top of the turn and get pushing against the top of the mountain? That's where it's really at, because then it's all glide rather than all skid. So let's make some turns, and I'll just show like going up the hill. Like, I'll make some, and then if I can hang on to it, I'll hang on to it, and when I can't, I'll bust out into a skid. Loose bindings. So you can see, I brought the turn. Nice little slivers. Nice arced little slivers in that C shape. That's where the real glide is. Just tilting the board, gliding on edge. Same thing with the heel side. I was able to hook the keeping the pencil line. Whenever you try to go up the hill, just make sure you get that safety look in. Get going what I would say is too fast, where it's like, I don't want to hold on to the pressure of the forces of the turn. And then in that case, I'd much rather just skid it. Back to a real speed that I can get aggressive with. And a bit shallower of turns when it's pretty flat. Here's Juan coming down. He's on a Knapton twin. Turns Juan. Towards the middle, late last season, I switched to Ride Insano boots, hard plastic shell in the front, a little more leverage on the toe side. Juan is on his 4th day of them. I haven't seen him on them yet, but he's digging the flux bindings with the Ride Insano boots, right?
Yep.
It's just more. You were on step-ons previously, and just maybe not enough action, not enough leverage, or what are you liking better?
Like, I think this one, the flux bindings are better in terms of they are more centered towards they're not towards the heel side too much.
Burton bindings sit really heavy on the heel set.
Those flux.
I tried some of them last year in some Skies, and I thought they rode pretty good. Absolutely, the smoothest turns I've seen him make. Good work, Juan. And with those Ride Insanos, the very first couple days for me, they always feel like ski boots. This is my second boot pair of them. The last one's got plastic broke on it, so it got too malleable and too squishy, and then my feet have to do way more work than required. But the very first days on me, it feels like a ski boot, and for my freestyle stuff, feels too rigid. But just like any snowboard boot, they break in quite nicely. So yeah, back to the carbon stuff and the speeds for it. Basically, if you ride at there's a range of speeds within any radius that should work. And if you stay within the harmony of those speeds, it feels like pure glide all the way through. Where if you get going too fast, then it's like gas brakes, gas brakes, gas brakes.
We're looking for the trick track. You know where the trick track is? Yeah, the ramp road. We're looking for the Peak 9 ramp road.
I don't know what's going on here anymore.
The stunt strip.
Oh my!
No? All right.
From a video one time.
Those guys are funny. Let's show some gas brakes. Gas brakes. Who likes to sit in traffic driving in a car? Gas brakes. Gas brakes. No one. It doesn't feel good. It feels better to glide like this. But here's some gas brakes. It feels so bad versus just digging that edge in and building that little trench, arced trench. The wave, riding the waves, that's what the side cut with the boards will allow you to do.
switch stance turns I've seen in Wands too. I love it.
I'll pretty much wrap it up with that. Main points just being staying within a range of speeds that work, where if you hold on to the turn, you can kind of keep the turn intact rather than it forcing into skids. People who just bomb, trying to act like Lindsey Vonn, Ted Ligety, Michaela Schifrin. I mean, all these World Cup skiers are on such different equipment than the average recreational skier, and plus they're actually using their edges really efficiently. But the people who just point it straight down, they're just a hazard to themselves and others. I was riding with a dad and a couple kids the other day. It was unnerving how close people would come to, at high speeds, would come to so close to these little kids. Like, so take it mellow on yourself and everyone else. And I will wrap this up with, I'm going out to Montana. I kind of hate traveling, but every year I've been invited to the Montucky Clear Cut. It's an alpine snowboarding event. I'm assuming it's going to be quite similar to the couple of the Aspen Trenton conventions I went to, so hard boot, alpine snowboarding primarily. I do know there'll be some soft boot carvers out there, and some of them will be given some clinics and stuff even. This would be, there are a handful of open spots still, so this would be for the select people who are knowing they're making clean carved turns, can get on a chairlift and literally look at their arc turns. So if you're wanting to explore taking that to some new realms at a private event that is limited to, I think, 100 people at a private resort, it just has one chairlift. I heard the top of it's pretty steep. I don't know what conditions will be like. They even asked me to run a clinic. So while I'm out there, I'll kind of gauge the snow, this pitch, my thoughts, and probably come up with something to teach to a group out there, and it'll be super fun. But what an honor for me on a soft boot carving to be asked by the event organizers if I'd like to run a clinic. Wow! Like, the alpine snowboarders are the ones who I really took my inspiration for all this carving stuff from, so it just feels crazy, like a dream. So check out the description. I'll put a link in the description for the Montucky Clear Cut. It's about $500 or something, not including lodging or in any of the flights or hotels or anything. But for the people who are really wanting to ride with a bunch of like-minded individuals and with the very hard rule of no passing. It's a no passing zone so that people aren't always constantly having to worry about getting hit from behind. So it's literally just leaving like 100 yards between you and the next person and the person behind in front of you. But it's going to be a really cool event. So check that out. And if you're not sure if it's right for you, then maybe hold off, and there'll be future clinics. But if you know that this is your realm, there's some soft boot carvers that I haven't met yet that I'm aware of that are going to be there doing some instructional stuff, and they rip turns and such good purity of technique, such clean and powerful turns, and all the alpine riders out there. It's just amazing to watch how much forces and ripping and the sounds. Like, it's such a unique thing versus out here you just watch everyone skid around. But all right, thank you all for watching. Happy shredding.